have a seafood boil today, and I have some things that I've been wanting to get off my chest. So, y'all, don't judge me for using these type of gloves. I didn't have like the other ones, and like when I eat seafood, it really makes my hands itch, so I don't like touching it like that sometimes. But one thing I've really been struggling with is like the healing of being in my last relationship. I forgot to put on the cake thing, so I'm gonna have to be careful. No one talks about like the healing of trying to move on from your relationship once you've broken up, especially when you had to unlearn how to love that person. And seeing like how he's maneuvered through this, like in the beginning, I really felt like he didn't care. I still feel like he doesn't care. And it is what it is. And I have to learn how to do my own healing on my own. And it's really difficult. With time, I have to learn to let it go. But there's a lot of resentment that I have towards him because I felt like I put so much effort into it. I tried. I asked him to do better. I asked him to compliment me. I asked him, like, why don't you post me? Are you ashamed of me? And I feel like within that, there's a lot of guilt as well because I blame myself for allowing myself to be disrespected or to be passed over. And I put in so much effort to make him feel loved while I was not receiving the same. However, I put myself in that predicament because had I loved myself enough, I wouldn't have allowed him to treat me like that. In the time that we were together, a lot of people were telling me, Sienna, baby, you need to let him go. It's not going to work out in the long run. And I was so against believing them because I thought like if I loved him enough, that would make him feel inspired to love me in the same way. But the funny thing about that is, no matter how much you love a person, you can't make them love you in the way you want to be loved. I thought I was progressively healing about the situation until recently, where I saw he went to prom with a girl that I thought, they had something going on while we were together. I digress. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it triggered me, and it made me feel inadequate in a way. It felt like a slap in the face. It felt like betrayal, and I think it put me back in that cycle of when we broke up and not feeling good enough and wondering why I wasn't good enough. The sad thing about it is I have worked so hard with my journey of loving myself, but I still have so much to go. And it makes my heart breaks for myself because I see people, I feel like it's coming up here, but I love people so deeply, and I feel like the way I loved it's so hard to feel that back. And sometimes I feel like I'm asking for too much. And so I put myself within the cycle of asking and then not asking at all. And then there becomes like this secret one-sided resentment because I'm feeling like my needs aren't being met, and then it's causing me to lash out to you, if that makes sense. And when a person loves you, they should never make you feel like them talking to you is a chore. They should never make you feel like they have to think about speaking to you at the end of the day because they're so busy. Like, there were times where I would be like, hey, why aren't you talking to me? Da 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 da. And he'd be like, oh, I'm having a busy day. Maybe it's just me, but like when I'm with someone and I truly love them, their being is edged into every aspect of my life. Every part of them goes through my mind constantly. I think about them like certain songs remind me of them. If the weather is nice, that reminded me of him. And I would always think like, I told him a couple times like spring days reminded me of him. And you look back on these things, like I pass like our spots, and I like if I go to the store and I'll think about him, and it's just I'm kind of glad that I'm moving because I'm tired of reliving that, and I'm so over it. And it's like for the longest, regardless of everything that we went through, I found myself constantly trying to validate the things that he did, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe like, maybe I'm tripping. And when I would confide in like certain friends that I really trust with my whole heart, they would be like, "No, you're not tripping." And I find that even now, I keep tapping my screen because it's like closing off. But even now, like I find so many times that I try to validate my experiences and try to make excuses as to why he may have done certain things, said certain things, did or didn't do things that I asked. And it's like, when am I gonna get out of that state where I stop condoning the way people treat me? When am I gonna actually say, this was fucked up, Sienna? That was not okay. It's not okay for people to make you feel like loving you is a burden or loving you is a task. It should be like second nature to them. And I'm so tired. And I really hate the fact that I keep comparing myself to that girl. That's a whole nother thing. I couldn't even, there's no way I could cover everything in one day, in one video. But that's something I wanted to get off my chest because this has been something that has been weighing on my chest for the last 4 months. And I think in a way, like I've started like not pursuing relationships, but exploring more people. And I feel like in a way that I'm using it as a distraction from healing, which is incredibly unhealthy. And I'm trying to work on it. But I feel like I'm using it as a way to fill that void of not feeling enough for him. But, that was my little rant. And you can sit and enjoy and watch me eat the rest of my seafood bowl.